we have Abhishek as well.
Hello.
So, hey guys, welcome to this special hangout. I'm really glad we're all here today.
Yeah.
So, right, Abhishek, you want to talk a little bit about
So,
this?
basically, we started this Think Mobile campaign with Digit. We had a chat about how going mobile is important in especially in Indian market, and Soham and the entire Digit team had a lot to contribute, and so we decided that we would help them. Uh, really craft some articles and put the information out there on how to go mobile, especially for the tech savvy young webmasters we have there out there. So that's how this entire thing started.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think we are really excited to do this, and there was a great effort from the Digit team as well. We have Soham here from Digit. Soham, do you want to say a few words?
Sure. Hi guys, can you hear me? I hope they can hear me. And
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Hi guys. So actually, I'm from Digit, and I look after the editorial team at Digit. And when Abhishek approached and had this idea about basically spreading awareness about the entire mobile website, what's happening, and also sort of to even bust some myths around the entire mobile web. Because things are going mobile, everybody's trying to figure out, okay, what's the best practice, how to ensure that your site is optimized, how to ensure that you don't lose out, you go on a mobile site or on a responsive website. So all these questions in mind, we thought, why not, get everybody and even get your answers. That was the entire concept behind this, and I'm hoping you guys can take some good learnings from this. So I think you can probably start with some questions that we can take, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we already have some questions in the Q&A app in this Hangout. I can see those questions. So we will take the questions one by one. However, if you have any live questions, feel free to interrupt and ask them, and we can take those questions as well as we go. So yeah, once again, really excited to do this Hangout. Although this Hangout is about mobile, I see a lot of questions which are not directly related to mobile or have nothing to do with mobile. As usual, we get a lot of these questions around manual actions and drop-in ranking, crawling and indexing issues and stuff like that. So as usual, we have those questions as well. I'm not saying we're not going to take those questions. We will answer those questions as well, but preference will be given to questions anything related to mobile. So if any of you guys have any live questions, feel free to ask them now.
Yeah, I have actually one question regarding to mobile.
Mhm.
Yeah, recently I just went through Google Webmaster Hangout, and there was written that if there is any kind of sneaky redirect, so the Google might take an action against that website. So the problem with me was that if I have 10,000 pages in my website, and because we have to work in phase for 8,000 pages, we have a mobile version, and we are redirecting them. But in 2,000 pages, we do not have any kind of redirection.
Mhm.
So I am using HTTP very header in server to provide search engine different kind of HTML pages for different devices. If I am providing the same desktop page to mobile for 2,000 pages, is there any issue?
Okay, so let me see if I got your question right. So you're saying your website is 10,000 pages. Out of those, 8,000 pages have redirects on
No,
them.
no, 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 no.
Uh-huh.
In 8,000 pages, I have mobile version and I am just redirecting to mobile pages. But in
Mm-hmm.
okay, we lost your voice.
Neeraj, I think we lost your voice.
redirect just to serve desktop page.
Okay, I think we lost you in between, so we didn't get the question completely. Could you please come again?
Okay, okay.
I'm really sorry, yeah.
You getting me now?
Um,
Hello.
yeah,
Neeraj, yeah, we
please
can
go
hear
ahead.
Yeah,
you.
yeah. My sorry. Actually, you are a little confused. Forget about any kind of redirection. I just wanted to know. Hello.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah, sure.
yes.
Yeah, that in 2000 pages I am serving desktop version to mobile user, and I am having HTTP very header in my server, which is telling search engine that I am showing different HTML pages to different devices, but I am just serving desktop pages for 2000 pages in even mobile. So should I use HTTP very header if I am serving desktop page to the user, or I should not use HTTP very header for 2000 pages?
Right, that's great. That's great. So I think I got your question. So basically, you see, you're using HTTP very header on pages that do not have different content for different devices. It's
Right, right,
being served for all the visits, right, for all the user agents, but still you have that HTTP very header, right?
right.
So would
This
that
is.
be a concern?
Hmm.
So, right. So how this very header works is basically when Googlebot sees that there is a very header, right? So for example, Googlebot comes to crawl your desktop version. It sees there is a HTTP very header. By that, it will know that, okay, the content of this page may vary if this page is accessed via mobile device, right? So then Googlebot goes back and sends Googlebot Mobile, which is a different Googlebot, different version of Googlebot to crawl mobile pages. Then that would come and crawl your pages, and it would see the same content, right? So technically, there is not going to be any effect,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, there should not be any harm if you do that,
Hmm.
right? But the ideal scenario of using the HTTP header would be if you have varying content.
Varying content.
Right. If you have varying content, then you use HTTP header. Well and good. If you don't have varying content, then there is no need to use the HTTP vary header. Nevertheless, if you have that, it is not going to harm you in any way.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Okay, great. Any other questions if we have?
Hi, Sayed, Ramesh on this side.
Yeah.
So just want to follow up with this question. I mean, so this regarding this new update from the Google, that is, I mean, for the unrelated kind of redirects from your desktop to the mobile. So does it also count, like, I mean, if I'm serving something on, I don't have a page on a mobile, but I'm serving a desktop page, does it also count under this unrelated kind of content, or does it okay for the Google?
Okay, so you're saying you don't have a mobile version, so you're serving a desktop version.
Yes.
Mobile users.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. So where would the redirect problem come in then?
So the thing is, I don't have any mobile page, so I'm just serving my desktop page to the user. So, I mean, is there any kind of issue with that Google can actually count as in
Absolutely,
kind of, I mean, that
absolutely
users
not.
are not getting that?
Absolutely not. In fact,
All right, fine.
yeah, that's kind of a recommendation that we give. Because sometimes what happens is,
Mhm.
not sometimes, actually a lot of times, with a lot of websites, what people do is when they have a desktop version, but the mobile version of that page is not available, for example, usually people tend to redirect their mobile users to their mobile homepage, right? So, for example, I'm accessing a deep link of a website. I'm trying to access the mobile version of that website on my mobile device. I type in that link, but I am suddenly redirected to the home page of the mobile website. I'm not shown the page that I'm actually looking for. So that is kind of a confusing experience for users. They get confused, and it's not a good user experience. So what we recommend is, if you don't have a mobile version of a page, then it's better to show them the desktop version, because in whatever format, they're at least getting the information that you're looking for, right? So, and if they're really keen to get that information, they would try to manage and get through it, somehow, right? So that's our recommendation in the scenario where you don't have mobile version. So what you're doing is actually right. But if you had mobile versions, that would be the best case scenario.
And
but it is, yeah.
That's in fact what this this entire campaign was about.
Right.
When we say think mobile, we want our webmasters to also think about the mobile users that who will be visiting your web page or will be accessing your content. And this is in accordance with the new mobile friendly tag that we have started adding to our SERP results.
Right.
And so it would be highly recommended that you have a really mobile optimized version of the page, but it won't be classified as a sneaky redirect. If I think that's that's what he was asking about about the recent sneaky redirect blog post.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question? I'm not sure. Oh, I think he just dropped.
Yeah, looks like he dropped. Yeah. Okay, so I'll go through the questions in the Q&A app. If you guys have any live questions, feel free to interrupt and ask. Okay, so we have a question. Nice. Yeah. So Pavle, he says, what is the most common mistake webmasters make on their mobile website that you guys see? Thanks for a great hangout. Okay. So I think one of the most common problems that we see with mobile websites is, again, the issue with redirects, right? A lot of times people think that it's not a big deal, and it may be a surprise for a lot of you and a lot of people out there to imagine, to know that, okay, redirects is one of the major problems that we see, right? So why this happens is a lot of times you set up your websites, but you're not checking if the redirects are working appropriately or not. And there comes the problem. A lot of times what happens is, for the deep links of your websites, these redirects are actually misbehaving, right? A lot of times they are either redirecting incorrectly, or they are redirecting back to the home pages where there are no pages, no mobile version of the pages, so on and so forth. So this is something that definitely is worthwhile to go back and check on your websites if redirects are working appropriately. We have seen cases where the webmaster was in the impression that their website is doing perfectly fine when it comes to redirecting, but we saw the problems, and when we hinted it to them and they went back and checked, and then they did find a lot of issues with their redirects. So this is kind of a hidden problem sometimes that is not very visible. So it is worthwhile to dig into this and fix it. Okay, moving on to the next questions.
Ankur.
Yeah. Ankur says, I had updated 3 pages on my blog. One is being displayed as updated, while the other 2 are being same shown as published. Okay, so is this a blog platform problem or a search problem? I'm not really clear. So
is Ankur here?
I don't see him here.
I don't think Ankur is here.
Yeah.
This is probably like a CMS related problem that he's facing, maybe a WordPress problem.
Yeah, so Ankur, if you're watching us, it will be really great if you could give some more details around your question.
Yeah, and especially what you would want to know about how this affects your search ranking.
Right. Okay, we move on to the next question. Website got hacked. We fixed it within a day. No manual penalty. Slight traffic drop. 450,000 pages are now 404 spam pages. Should we wait for Google to drop them, or do something like removing entire root URL with cheap store? What is the best to do? Okay.
Okay, so Google bot will recrawl these pages, and because those are now 404, during the recrawl we will automatically understand that these are 404 and we won't index them.
Absolutely.
Yes. One more from my side.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay. See, Google says please use alternate and canonical between your desktop and mobile site. So we are using it, but I just wanted to know that in mobile site, what kind of things should I keep in my mind before optimizing title and description? If search engine is taking title and description from my desktop site, then it is not required to just optimize title description of mobile as well.
Okay,
What
so
you will suggest, because so many people say that keep it smaller so that in small devices it could be visible, but I just wanted to know whether I should give hard work to optimizing mobile site title, or because Google has to take it from desktop, why just work hard for these things?
yeah, I get it.
Okay.
So yeah, so your question basically is, do you put effort in optimizing titles and description for your mobile pages?
And in case I just keep different title of my mobile site, which one Google will show in mobile search result?
Right. So titles and descriptions. Google basically, I mean, there are various sources from where Google may pick the title and the description. So it could be your title and description tags in your HTML that you put in the head section of the HTML document. It could be from there that Google picks. Otherwise, Google can pick even from, say, for example, somewhere on the page, right? So content on the page, it can pick snippets from there as well and show them as title and description as well, right? And somewhere else as well. So basically, when you are optimizing the titles and descriptions for a page, right, most probably the content of the page is going to be the same irrespective of which platform it is. I mean, it may be in a different format, but largely the content is going to be the same, right? Whether you're serving it on a desktop or a mobile device. So I don't see it necessary for you to have different titles and descriptions for your mobile versions, because the content is the same. So if you're optimizing your desktop pages, that means you are giving a summary of that page in the title and a little bit description of the content of that page in the description, which should be fine on your mobile devices as well. Now, about if it would be too long on a mobile device and stuff like that, Google will automatically take care of that, how many characters to display and what kind of snippets to display. And the title and description, they vary depending on the user's query as well. So if depending on a user's query and a lot of other factors, same page of a website may have different titles and descriptions appearing in the search results. So it's a dynamic thing. It's not a hard-coded thing that you hard code once and it will appear like that always. So I don't think you should be worrying too much about optimizing your mobile titles and descriptions separately.
Okay, thank you.
Right, most welcome.
We can go to the next question.
Yeah. Right. Okay. What is the best way to rebrand and migrate from one domain to another? Is it just 301 redirecting followed by social media brand change? What is the best practice when it comes to rebranding? Can you provide exact steps? Thanks a lot, guys. Okay. So from a search engine perspective, yes, it is 301 redirecting, right? Because when you create that link, Google or search engines like Google will be able to associate the two links, and they would know the content on these two different links is actually the same, right? That this old address has now changed to the new address. The content on this from this old address has moved to the new address. So basically everything remains the same. The value that that page had in a search engine's index and any other associated ranking signals that search engine had gathered around it, all will remain the same and the benefit will be passed on, right? So 301 redirecting and doing it appropriately is, I think, is the most important step. Now, there are a lot of things that needs to be taken care of. Moving a site is, of course, not easy, especially if you are redesigning your website. If it is not just a URL change, right, a domain change, but it is also a design change, then you need to make sure that all your content is basically crawlable, right? Your JavaScript, CSS, all these files are crawlable on your new domain as well, so that we are able to extract all the information from when we start crawling your pages on the new domain, right? So yes, I think, and again, from a business and branding perspective, I think we are not really the experts in the branding space. There is a lot that can be talked about in that space, and it is, I think, there is no one formula for that, right? So
we can only answer from a search engine perspective.
Really.
But yeah, I think Syed covered almost all the things.
Yeah. Okay.
So Vaibhav Agrawal says mobile site doesn't have a pagination in categories as generally we do in desktop version. It is lazy loading that as you would swipe down on mobile screen, all the content of that category content will keep on loading for the user. What is the impact?
Okay, so well, one of the most important things here is that you should allow Google to crawl your JavaScript and CSS files, right? And when you do this, Google should be able to basically crawl the dynamic content like this on your web pages, right? Plus, if it is about pagination, then there is also rel next and rel previous tags that you can use in the pagination, which will basically link these different pages to the other sections of that category, right? So you can actually read this up in the Help Center, or I can probably put the link after the Hangout in the comment section where you can read up on how exactly you can do this on your pages.
That's things to. So this is again from Vaibhav, but this is a good question. When can we expect the functionality of Google app indexing for those apps which are not on Google Play?
Yeah, really nice question. So I think we have already started supporting iOS applications, but very frankly, I'm not sure what our plan is or what the roadmap is for apps that are outside of Google Play and iOS. So really, I don't know. As of now, I don't know, but we're working hard to make Google Play and iOS apps get indexed appropriately and start showing in the search results. So that is our focus right now. But if there is anything from the app indexing team, probably there will be an announcement whenever it is.
Okay.
Do we have any live questions, by the way?
Hi, Syed.
Hi, Arun.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, there is a new update about interstitial.
The interstitial.
Interstitial on mobile side. So one of my side, we are using the same, but when I am checking it on the Google Mobile Friendly tool, can you hear me?
Yes,
when I'm checking it, when one of my side, we are using the same, and when I'm checking it on Google Mobile Friendly tool, it's showing awesome 100% correct. So do we can continue the same?
Okay, so you mean to say one of your websites you're using interstitial, and is this a full page interstitial on mobile devices?
Yes. It's full page interstitial.
Right. But you're saying that is not currently detected by the mobile-friendly test tool.
Mobile side.
Right. So that doesn't mean that that will remain like that. I mean, undetected by Google. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, no tool is like perfect. Sometimes we
Okay.
have slips here and there, but of course our recommendation, as you already know, is that we do not encourage use of full screen or interstitials that actually block major part of the content right behind
Okay.
them. So
Okay.
that is not our recommendation, and that may be seen negatively as well.
Okay.
So of course, I would advise you to like remove that or change that into a small banner or whatever, and the other way to promote whatever you want to promote.
Okay.
But you would definitely want to not do it as it is right now. I mean, the full page is blocking the content.
Okay, one more question from my side.
No.
As this algorithm says, you cannot use this interstitial in landing page. So if user land on the page and hits on the second page, and on second page we can show the interstitial.
Okay, so the issue here is when people are coming from Google search results pages, right? They're expecting to see some content,
Right.
right? So they expect to see some content, and when they land on the page, if they're not able to see that content, it's a disappointing experience for them.
Right, right. But
Yeah.
if we use this on second page, like
Right,
if we use it,
right. So so basically, that is a bad user experience. Now, I mean, you may also know about our first click free policy, right? So
yes, yes.
for the first, when the user comes on your page, and you give them, show them the content, and then you allow them to, when they are, so for example, this depends on whether this article is one article continuing on the other page, or you have an entirely different page that the user is going through, right?
Okay.
So if it is the same article that is being continued, that we would want you to allow access to that user, so that user is able to actually get the complete information.
Okay.
You get it? So whether
Yes,
the
yes, yes,
article
yes.
on the single page or divided in 2, 3, 4 pages, if it's a big article, depending on that, you should allow the user to get through all those pages. So if you're doing an interstitial on this kind of a page, on page number 2, then that's not a good practice again.
Suppose if second page is particularly different page, like
Right.
it's not this part 2 page or in pagination, it's the different page. So can we use the same?
We would recommend like giving them access to like 3 clicks, 3 pages.
Okay.
Right. Beyond that, you can of course block the content, have them sign up to whatever you want them to do.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Any other live questions?
Okay, I think we can go on to the next question.
Okay, so there is a question by Jaya. I have a question regarding Robotstxt file. We can submit sitemap from other domain like subdomain and call it from Robotstxt, or submit XML in our domain and then post link of subdomain where we host all our XML sitemaps. It's on CDN. Okay, I'm not sure I'm getting this question, but do you mean to say that your robots.txt is applicable to your subdomains as well on that main domain? If that's the question, yes, your robots.txt is for your entire domain, right? The main domain. So subdirectories, subdomains, everything is covered by this robots.txt file. If that is your question, you cannot use a robot.txt on one domain for an entirely different domain. That is not possible. But if this was not your question, if you have any clarification, then please feel free to chip in.
Yes, one more question was in my mind, actually, that I was facing difficulties very much in. What are the terms where desktop results start showing our mobile website in desktop search engine? Because if you see in Google US, if you try to see cheap flights result, you will see one website mobile version is ranking in desktop for 11th position. So this was the same problem that I was facing. My mobile version was coming in desktop search result.
I lost you for
Despite
yeah.
Repeat that. Sorry,
sorry.
if you could just rephrase it, just a question, like, so we got the context about the US search results, but I mean, if you could repeat that, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that what are the precautions that I should keep in mind while server side setting so that my mobile website does not rank in desktop result.
Okay, so he wants to know how to like what are the settings he should keep.
Yes,
Uh, right?
I am already using alternate and canonical.
So you mean to say your mobile version is ranking on desktop?
Desktop, right?
Okay. So and you do have a desktop website as well.
Right. So so suppose it starts ranking, so my desktop traffic goes down and mobile traffic comes up.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I want to completely segregate that mobile website ranks only in mobile and desktop only in desktop.
Absolutely. I think that is what we would also want to do. But ideally, this should not be happening, right? Especially when you have a desktop website and you have done the rel canonical, rel alternate, this should not be happening. So if you could probably post this, I mean, your website. So probably we may have to like debug a little bit into your website to see what's wrong there, because this kind of a special case. So if you could post this link in our webmaster help forums, then somebody from our team may be able to look at it.
And for some time it is okay, but after 1 or 2 months it again starts ranking mobile website and desktop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I said, ideally that should not be happening. I mean, it's a search problem as well if that is happening, because we do not want to show mobile version for people coming from desktop, right? That wouldn't be a good user experience. So yeah, we will have to like kind of look at this case and then see what's happening.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure,
you post this in the help forums.
sure.
Great, thank you.
Hi Sayed, actually I have a question from a colleague named Satish.
Okay.
Sure.
So basically, I mean, he's also a part of our community. So basically, his question is around slideshows. Nowadays, you have a lot of these image and content-based stories going up, in terms of slideshows. So he specializes his website only in slideshows, and but slideshows on mobile is not the best experience because people normally have a vertical scroll habit, right? So you
Yeah.
don't go next in terms of tapping. So he's now implemented a vertical scroll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the issue with that is that on the desktop it's still horizontal scroll. It's only in the mobile version that the each slide is actually placed under the other slide rather than going next. And when he's implemented vertical slideshow, because of infinite scrolling, uh, his page views are not getting logged in the same way as it used to be in case of desktop, because it was clearly loading a next page, but in this case user scrolls up, the next page loads, and then when he scrolls further, the next page loads. But because the content and the image is not enough for a single page, he's not getting the page view benefit. So
Mm-hmm.
how can he tackle uh, converting his slideshow module for mobile where he'll get the same page view benefit?
So basically, he has a slideshow and he has
Yeah.
implemented a vertical scrolling, and the entire view that he was getting for that one slideshow is getting divided into each slide or each
Right.
page.
Right. Yeah. So is your question, I mean, anything to do with search, or are you talking about how to track the page views in analytics and stuff like that?
He's asking about
Because
how does he optimize for mobile, basically. The whole context is, well, he's optimized for mobile, but then how does he ensure that the benefits are not lost?
yeah. So that's a good question actually. So from a search perspective, to clarify, I mean, it is not going to affect him in any way because the content ultimately is the same, just the format or the way of access and the behavior is changing. So that said, I am very frankly not sure how this can be tackled. Probably I'll have to think a bit about it. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but if you can check online, there might be like free tools available or plugins available if he's using a popular like a popular platform like WordPress or Blogspot, where for mobile you can probably implement a slideshow, which can give you a full screen slideshow. Um, so if he can probably do that, he can still make
Right.
his page views a benefit, and not have to do the entire vertical scroll.
Sure. Thanks. I'll pass it on to him. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay,
Thanks.
we have a couple of more questions left in the
There's a
chat.
There's a script question.
Okay. Okay, so WebHub asks, what would happen if we scrape reviews of product from an authoritative domain for our user to understand that product on our domain? Will that have negative impact because reviews are coming from a different domain? So the best scenario would be to have unique and exclusive reviews from your users for your site, right, on your site. Scraping reviews is, in general terms, not a great idea. What you could do instead is maybe link to the reviews page on the other website if you want to give those insights, make those insights available to users. That would be a better thing to do. But if you're scraping entire reviews from other website and putting on your pages, that may be seen as a negative thing by search engines, because that content doesn't belong here, it belongs somewhere else, and it is being scraped. So yeah, that may not be a best case scenario. So instead of that, if you can think of other strategies, the best thing would be to allow your users to, if you're selling the product, then they should be able to write reviews and comment about it on your own website. So that would be the best possible scenario.
So yeah, one more question from my side.
Sure.
Okay. One of my site using reviews. As we are talking about reviews, one of site is showing product reviews, but the reviews are coming from with JavaScript. So in this case, I want to use structured data on reviews. So is there any way to use structured data on reviews which are coming with JavaScript? That means reviews are not visible on HTML.
Right. So yes. Basically, yes, you can do that because now we are able to, render pages as they are rendered in web browsers. So technically, we are able to do that. In the recent years, we did not have that capability, but now we are able to. So now we can actually, fetch content that is actually generated using JavaScript and CSS and Ajax and stuff like that, and we are able to understand and crawl that content. So if you have some content which is dynamically loaded using JavaScript, and if that content can be made rich by implementing rich snippets and structured data, then you should do that.
But how?
How? Okay.
Like how I'm going to place the markup?
So this depends on what kind of architecture you have on your website, right? What kind of implementation you have. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Is there any tutorial or something guide?
I'm not sure if we specifically have to do with this. We definitely have lots of stuff on our help center talking about structured data and the markup. Schema.org is the website as well for the markup. You can look at those resources, but I'm not really sure if we have something for this. But if I find anything specific to this after the Hangout, probably I'll post that in the comment section.
Okay, thank you.
Right? Okay, great. Okay.
Are there any more questions?
So yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So probably we should take some of the older questions first.
Yeah.
And then.
Okay. This is a nice one.
Yeah. So again, another question from Vaibhav. I have a mobile site because it is completely. I have only a mobile site because it is completely mobile product. If you try my website on desktop, it will redirect to a different domain, corporate domain. What are the impacts of doing so in terms of mobile site indexing and ranking? Okay, so you only have a mobile website. So what I would suggest is, instead of redirecting them to something which is totally different, you show them the mobile version, right? Do not redirect them. Just show them what you have, and then it will be on the user to choose to browse that content or not. And after doing that, probably you can have an option on your pages where you can probably give them a link or whatever way you want to, um, making it clear that, okay, this you do have a corporate domain that you would want them to go to if they want to. So now this is, I mean, instead of forcing this redirect on them, they have a choice whether to consume that content in whatever format they have gotten that content, or to go to your corporate domain. So that would be the best case to deal with this.
Sayed, can I ask one more question about mobile site? Yes, thank you. Sayed, actually, I am using some schema in my desktop pages, and I have mobile page for the same thing as well. So, should I use the same schema in mobile page too for coming up in with schema in mobile search result, or if I have used already in desktop and have given canonical to desktop, search engine for mobile will understand that it has to show in mobile as well.
Right. So if you have a separate mobile website like M dot version,
Right, right. It is
yeah,
separate.
right, or a separate version. The URL is same, but it is a separate version, meaning you're showing the dynamic serving version, right? You're displaying different HTML for mobile devices and different HTML for desktop. So these are like kind of separate websites, right? Then you will have to implement the structured data on your mobile website as well. If you have
Okay.
responsive, then of course, I mean, you do it once and then it is adapted on the screen. Then Google only crawls one version of your website, so you do it once and you're done. But if you have separate websites, then you'll have to implement structured data as well separately.
Again on mobile too.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, Google may not be able to understand that rich content.
Okay. Okay. Very useful reply. Thank you.
No problem, you're most welcome. Okay, from the Q&A app, we have another question from Jaya. I have a single site which is completely focused on mobile in the layout, so there is no separate version. Okay, does the mobile-friendly layout affect the ranking? So if I got this right, you have a website which is maybe responsive.
Yeah, I think it's that.
Yeah. If that is the case, then I think that's in fact a good thing to have. A website that can adapt to different screen sizes and render itself appropriately. That's one of the best practices that we indeed recommend. So there is nothing for you to worry about. Yeah. Okay.
What's the best? So Vishal Sharma asks, what is the best practices of using rel canonical?
So if it is about duplicate content, then make sure that all the duplicate pages point to the same rel canonical. So this is one of the issues we see with pages where they may be pointing to, I mean, for some reason they may be pointing to two different canonical pages, right? Which is not a good thing to have. You should have only one canonical page for similar content on different pages. So that is one of the issues that comes top of my head right now. But if you have any other specific questions regarding equals canonical, please feel free to ask.
Someone was in the
Yeah.
group chat.
Okay, we have another question from Jaya. Wanted to know, does using microdata, microformat, and JSON affect rankings, or all are treated the same? Okay, so yeah, we do support all these formats. However, none of these have any kind of effect on the search engine rankings, right? So when it comes to ranking, they're all treated equally. There is no differentiation that is made. Yeah, that was a straightforward answer.
That's the answer. Yeah, that's the answer.
Okay. And okay, does different meta on the mobile version and desktop version affect rankings? Thanks. Okay, by metadata, do you mean the meta description and stuff like that? If it is that, no, it shouldn't. If you have different meta data in different meta tags on your, mobile version and desktop version, that will not affect your ranking in any way. Sorry?
I don't understand. Okay, so this question comes from Sunny Ranjan. How we define a page in a mobile device? Is it the first scroll? Is it to do with some pixel? So anything else? And I don't really understand.
Yeah.
What that means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm also not really sure what this question means. By the way, for the folks who are watching this Hangout, we also support Hindi language. So if you have any questions that you may want to ask in Hindi, then you can use that language as well to ask. If you're not comfortable with English, probably we can attempt to answer in Hindi as well. So I really don't this question. Sunny, if you're watching this, then if you have any clarification to make, please do make that so we are able to answer your question. Okay, I think we are done with the questions in the Q&A app.
Yeah. Are there any more live questions?
Yes.
Maybe you can jump the group chat.
Yeah, Sayed, one more question I wanted to ask you, if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I submitted my XML sitemap for mobile website in Search Console, and then I saw that it was showing that the URL submitted was the number, some number, but URL indexed was 0 for mobile website. Web indexed was some number, but mobile index was coming up as 0. I just waited for some time, but it did not change. However, if I type search query, then I see my mobile website indexed.
Right.
Do you have any idea what Search Console shows by that that way?
Yeah, so the thing with sitemaps is when you submit a bunch of URLs, it is not necessary that we may crawl all the URLs that you have submitted. And this could happen for various reasons, right? So for example, we may detect that a lot of those pages maybe are like duplicate versions of some canonical pages that we have already indexed. So we may completely ignore those pages and we may not index those pages. So I'm not really sure. I can't say anything unless I actually check your sitemap and so as to say, like, so to determine why it was showing 0. But one thing to keep in mind is it is not a guarantee that we would crawl, we would index all the pages that are submitted via sitemap. And this could happen for various genuine reasons which may not affect your ranking in any way. Right? So go back and check if you have any canonical pages listed in that sitemap that are submitted and not Google's index already. If so, then you may want to defer to the process. Otherwise, since these are like duplicate pages, then you can just ignore.
No, it was not duplicate actually.
Mhm.
When I submitted all my mobile version of desktop website in XML sitemap of mobile website,
Right.
in search console it is showing first or you web pages 40,000 submitted, then it is showing in web pages section 7,000 indexed, and in mobile it is still showing 40,000 submitted and there is no any number of how many are indexed.
I get it. I get it. Yeah. So, yeah, unless I take a look at that, I won't be able to like comment on this because this is a special case again. This is not a general thing that happens with everyone. So
Mhm.
I'm not sure what's happening there. It could be some bugs and some temporary bug in Search Console that may not be, displaying the number of pages that are indexed, or it could be
Mhm.
something else. So why don't you go ahead and post this as well in the our webmaster forums so somebody can take a look.
Okay,
Great, thank you.
thank you.
Do we have another question? Any other questions?
I think Amit posted a question over here.
Okay, so in the chat we have a question from Amit. What would you advise for optimizing a site for Google voice search over mobile devices? Is there any specific thing apart from usual webmaster optimization tips? Okay, so there is no special recommendation for optimizing your doing SEO for your I mean voice search. Voice search basically take hints from again what is available on your web page, the content and stuff like that. So if you're taking care of your website, meaning if your website is crawlable, indexable, and user friendly, then I think it should be fine. Okay, I think
That's pretty much.
yes,
Okay.
those were the questions we have gotten today. Okay, there is
There's
one
one
more
more.
question that has come in.
Kuldeep.
Okay, so the question is, we have m dot pages.
We have m dot pages with REST same URL for desktop and mobile. Is it good to keep such time of URL pages for mobile? I think he meant type.
We have m dot pages with REST same URL for desktop and mobile. Is it good to keep such type of
URL
URLs
pages.
for mobile? Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm confused with this question. I don't know what exactly he wants to ask. Are you able to draw something out of it?
I think he has m dot pages for some URLs, and for the rest, he just has the desktop version. And he's asking if it is good to keep such type of URL pages for mobile.
Okay, so you mean to say you have your m dot version covers only a part of your desktop version, right? So only a part of your desktop version is available in mobile format, that is m dot version, and rest of the pages are only desktop, right? If that is the case, then it is not a problem actually, unless you're not worrying about traffic from mobile devices, right? So it depends on what kind of the pages these are and your strategy to promote them, whatever it is, right? If you think the pages that are not available in the mobile format are important for your users, and your users are likely to try accessing them using a mobile device, then I would highly recommend to make a mobile version of those pages, definitely, right? But if you think those pages are probably not very useful on mobile devices, and there is not much uh, mobile users can get out of it, and they may not be interested in those pages, then maybe you can live with the format that you have and just show the desktop version of those pages even on the mobile devices. It totally depends on what type of content that is. But in general terms, I would say you should consider creating mobile-friendly websites, right? Unless you're sure that you're not going to lose anything, your users are not going to lose anything if those pages are not made available in a mobile-friendly format.
I think that's about it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's about it for the questions for today. Are there any more remaining live questions that you guys want to ask, or we could wrap this up?
No question from my side.
Okay. Okay. I
Okay,
think
looks like
yeah.
that's
I
it.
think we have answered most of the questions that were there. So I guess we can wrap this up.
Yep, I think so.
So Soham, do you want to add anything? Do you want to say any last few words?
No, I guess question was good for all of us. So, I mean, let's hope we keep doing such sessions even more in future, and help people build, better, more optimized websites.
Yeah.
So thanks
Really.
a lot.
Yeah. So guys, I mean, we do try and do a public hangout session once a month, and so I mean, anytime you guys have any question, you guys can drop into our public hangouts and ask those.
All right. And I hope the Digit article
would really help
was really helpful. It was really made. I mean, a lot of effort was gone into that.
Yeah.
So it was an excellent effort put together, and I really liked the article myself and the way it was put and stuff like that. So I hope you guys found it very, very useful.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. So I guess Sayed, we can now wrap this.
Yes. Okay. Great. So thanks everyone for your time and for your questions and everything else. Sorry?
No, thank you. I said thank you.
Great, great. Yeah. So yep. So hope to see you soon again. Probably end of next month.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do a hangout again. So if you have any questions, you can jump onto this hangout again.
And we apologize for the confusion with the hangout links
Yeah.
earlier, but all's well that ends well. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for attending today's hangout. We'll see you perhaps next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.